Now, a lot of videos I see on YouTube, and I even see it in articles, and I'm going to tell you right now, the very few people that do watch me, this is a very dangerous thing to do. This particular YouTuber is going to sit back and dehydrate eggs. He has 70,000 subs. He's a Mr. Know-It-All because had he done any research, he wouldn't be doing this. This is extremely dangerous, guys. Even in his title, he has turning eggs into a powdered magic. It's magic. Must be good stuff. Everybody in the comments says, oh, it's so beautiful. That's amazing. And they're all going, I got to try that. They're all going to end up dead, is what's going to happen. Let me show you something. I'm going to zoom into the so-called turning eggs into powdered magic. He's calling them eggs, right? Let's zoom in here. What do we see? Liquid egg whites. They're not even eggs. He's lied to everybody, okay? So, what are liquid egg whites used for? If you search Google, okay, what do you do with egg white powder? It's a binding agent with far stronger gel strength than liquid egg whites. Egg albumin powder is used often in vegetarian preparations such as meat, soy sausages, hamburgers, frankfurters. This is what it's used for. Okay. They are up here on Quora. It says, since egg white powder is pasteurized, it's safe to alternative to raw whites. Well, that's interesting. Now, have a look at this. If you go and do a search on should you dehydrate raw eggs, it says right here, eggs are not recommended for home drying because of the high risk of food poisoning. Commercially dried milk and egg products are processed rapidly at temperatures high enough to prevent bacterial contamination. So even that guy's, even though he's using egg whites, okay, you're setting yourself up here. You really can't monitor the temperatures inside a dehydrator, and it takes like 10 or 12 hours. All you're doing is baking bacteria. Dehydrating eggs is one of the most dangerous things you can do. So don't do it. And then you got to ask yourself, okay, why would that person go make a video in a regular home dehydrator? Is it just because he's looking for content? And then you got to ask yourself another question. Well, what does that say about his 60,000 subscribers and all his other videos? Does he do any research that says, hey, this stuff will kill you? And you notice his title had said eggs, but he was using a carton of egg whites. It's not even an egg. It's commercial egg whites, which is used in vegetarian dishes and also used in desserts. That's what they're used for. So then we got to ask ourselves a simple question. You can buy eggs already dehydrated into a powder. I don't think they taste so good, but you can. They're about $13 for, no, $30. $30 for about 16 ounces, I guess. And, you know, they've been prepared properly. So what are you really saving by doing eggs in a dehydrator? It costs electricity to run that. He had to buy those so-called cartons that had egg whites. The time, cleaning up the dishes, water bill. There's so much little things to consider there that it's probably a savings of maybe $10, maybe, and maybe less. So you're saving a little bit of money, but you're setting yourself at risk of dying and getting food. Have you ever gotten food poisoning? Anybody that's gotten food poisoning, I'll tell you right now, will tell you it is one of the worst things in life they can go through. I got it once, and it wasn't too long ago, a few years back at a Chinese restaurant. I have never been so sick in all my life. Literally took me 3 days to finally feel somewhat normal. And you literally are heaving nonstop every hour on the hour. Your stomach feels like somebody hung you up on a wall and punched the living daylights out of you. You have never felt anything so horrible than getting food poisoning. It's terrible. And they're saying here there is a difference between a home dehydrator and a commercial dehydrator. And you shouldn't do it. But yet, some YouTuber that, I don't know, what did he get his degree in? What did he get his diploma in? Probably nothing. He just wanted to make a video. And of course, anybody that does say anything bad or says you shouldn't do this, I mean, when you see a YouTuber and every single comment's perfect, that's like looking at a product on Amazon and every review is perfect. Well, what does that tell you? The reviews are being monitored and they're not true. There is no such thing as a perfect YouTuber. That would like be saying we are perfect people. And the problem is when you start trusting this face on the screen, even with me, okay, that makes you stupid. Now, when I make my videos, I try to actually do it step by step. I try to show you what I do because I've done it. And I even try to back it up with links. I try to back it up with information like you see me doing here. So you can make a proper decision. But you should go and search Google yourself and type in, should I dehydrate raw eggs? And you'll get the same results as I get. It's no different than news services. Our news services are right, they're left, they're in the middle. I mean, they're all a bunch of liars. And that's it. When Donald Trump said fake news, he hit the nail right on the head. I don't think there's a legit news service out there, period. At one time, they used to report the news and it was the news. It didn't matter if it was right, left, or anything. It was just the news. But that no longer exists. So be very, very careful before you make yourself sick or end up in the hospital. For the money savings to dehydrate eggs and take a chance on putting yourself in the hospital or giving yourself food poisoning is just complete stupidity. Let me show you something else. Okay, so let's say you listen to the YouTuber, you didn't see the carton said egg whites, and you decided to take your eggs, you scramble them up, you put your spices in, and you put them on your dehydrating plate trays with parchment paper, and then you dehydrate them for 12 hours. You take them out hiking or camping, and you're out there hiking, and you walk 25 miles back into the bush. I've done that many times. Now you're back there, and you got your eggs, and you think, hey, I made that. It's perfect. You add your water, you scramble them up, you throw them in your frying pan, cook them up, and you don't even know that they're poisoned. You can't smell it, you can't taste it. You sit down with your family or your kids or your son, and now you eat them. 2 or 3 hours later, you start noticing your stomach's not feeling good, and you all start throwing up and heaving your guts. You're not thinking it was the eggs. You're not even coherent to it. You're not thinking you're actually probably thinking of different restaurants you probably could have caught it at, or even the grocery store. But take a look at the numbers. 48 million people get sick, 128,000 are hospitalized, and 3,000 people die from foodborne diseases each year. Okay, here's what happens. How about this one? Let's come down a little tiny bit to read this one. Okay, how common food poisoning death? Well, the food supply in the United States is one of the safest in the world, and Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, estimates that each year, roughly 1 out of 6 Americans, of 48 million people, get sick. That's 128,000 people that have been hospitalized, and 3,000 people die. So think about that. 60, 70,000 subs are listening to this guy. They're taking eggs, scrambling them up, putting them in the dehydrator. They did not pay attention and see he bought egg whites in a carton that are not eggs. And he made his beautiful video, and everybody thinks he's amazing because he dehydrated them. You come along and do it with regular eggs you crack open and make. And can you imagine how you'd feel if your wife or your kid died because you decided to do this with eggs? Look, I don't care what it is or who it is. You have to be responsible for your own actions. And if you're going to put something in your mouth, research it. And you better make sure that everything is working properly so you don't get food poisoning. Or you very well could accidentally kill one of your family members or yourself, or be in a very, very dangerous situation when you're back in the bush hiking. So really think about what you're doing. Bottom line, don't dehydrate eggs. For the savings and the cost, it's not worth it. You can buy it commercially done in commercial dehydrators. Yes, it costs a little bit. Sometimes it's better just to spend a little bit of money to have that good time, that adventure, so you're not going to be sick trying to figure out how you're going to get home. And when you find all these people listening to some of these YouTubers that people believe they know what they're talking about when they don't, that is even more scary. You have to research the news. You have to research YouTubers, especially when things get dangerous. And that's the bottom line. So, if anything about this video, if you put something in your mouth, go research it. Don't listen to anybody. And make sure you're not ended up killing yourself out of stupidity. I'll catch you on the next one.